and episode 7, Paranormal Discovery Show.
Welcome back. Today is a very special episode because we got our first guest speaker.
And he's got a ghost story as well for us. So
yeah, it's a pretty good one as well, especially because he didn't believe in ghosts or anything like paranormal at all. And then after this, he was like, yeah, fully sold. So alright, introduce yourself, man.
Hey guys, my name's Jesse. I'm friends with Matt and Tom. Yeah,
it's fun.
Alright, I reckon you just get on.
Yeah, alright, so this is my story. So yeah, basically about 2 years ago, just after my brother passed away, it was just one of those boring ass days where you just wake up, get a shower and so on. So where I live, it's sort of my bedroom's on one side of the house and my bathroom's on the other. So basically one morning I just wake up, have a shower, and basically in the arrangement of my house, my mum's bedroom is right next to the bathroom. So basically growing up, we knew that my mum was awake when her door was open. So this morning had my shower and I woke up, her door was open, Connor and I just see a figure, so I say good morning, go to my bedroom, look for some underwear, I don't find any, so basically our laundry is always in the dining room for some reason downstairs, so I go down there really quickly, and as I'm looking for my underwear, my mum is in the backyard having some coffee.
Oh, so sort of.
So yeah, so within less than a minute, basically I've gone from upstairs to downstairs, and I don't like the physics of my mum, a 50-year-old lady, beating me downstairs. She would have either had jump off the balcony or bolted it. So yeah, basically when I found my underwear and I looked up, my mum was in the backyard having coffee. I sort of just froze for a couple of seconds, and I sort of was what the hell just happened right there? And I was questioned mum, did you, were you just upstairs sort of thing? And she was like, nah, I've been sitting out here. And yeah, so I was sort of freaked out, and so yeah, I took my underwear.
And this figure was clear enough, right?
Yeah, so corner your eye, recognized someone, so I said something to it. So basically I was super freaked out, and throughout my entire life, my family have always been scared to stay in my house by themselves. I never have been. His
house is supposedly haunted.
So your family's had creepy things happen to them?
Yeah, they just
bumps in the night kind of thing.
Yeah, bumps in the night when things make sounds, and when you're in there by yourself, it's a 2-story house, it's quite open, so it does seem sort of you're very alone in a very large space. So yeah, basically I went back upstairs, looked around my mum's house, my mum's bedroom, behind curtains, through doors and stuff, just to double check, because again, it's my first time sort of believing the idea of something more, what the fuck is that? But yeah, so yeah, that was a creepy ass day. And then yeah, so basically within that week, my entire family recorded a moment that sort of was paranormal sort of thing. My
really?
Sister had flashing front lights for a duration.
In her house.
Yeah,
front lights had got on and off.
Yeah,
and no one was there.
No one was there. Yeah,
yeah.
It was middle of the night as well. My family said same thing. They've seen something. Songs weirdly. Songs, yeah. So the song we played at my brother's funeral, awkwardly enough, it's a very old song. I never knew about it. My family never. We got recommended by one of our family friends.
Can you share that? What was the song?
Oh, I don't have it. When I hear it, it just goes off. I'm alright, I know that. And it was just again, within a month after it all happened, my mum and I hanged out, and when that just song occurred, something else that was attached to my brother, it just popped up, and for it to be on the radio, I was at work and it occurred. I'm why is the radio playing this really odd song? So like, yeah, that song now just crazy how I'm like, okay, what's up there?
Because it's not a song that would usually be on.
It's not like a popular old song. It's like, it's a
classic synchronicities. Yeah. Sheesh.
So now you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Now you believe in paranormal? I love it when skeptics turn like that. It's a great.
Well, that's what I think. Everyone as a kid believes it.
Yeah.
Then, as you get a bit older, teenage years, it's kind of conditioned out of you, like
it's all that logical brain. You know?
Yeah, and then I think at some stage in everyone's life, it might be like 18 or 20 or something, like fairly early for us, or you could be like 60 years old. Yeah. Something happens, and you're like, hold up, no, like. Yeah, games change. Like there's something different.
No, I don't know, like because my other friend, like Jacob, like he's always teased us about it. He's always believed everything. So yeah, and I've like teased him about that. So like even from a young age, it wasn't something I believed in.
I said Jacob always believed in paranormal stuff.
He believes in everything that's like exists. Yeah, he just like reads something. Oh, yep, it exists, and like he just goes on and like he spends like a decent week like researching it. Yep, I know about it. It exists. It's dumb, in my opinion. But yeah, no, that like scared the hell out of me. Yeah.
Have you anything else since, or has it just been that?
So like that was sort of like
the big one. Like
seeing a figure, like songs. That's weirded out because like it's an odd ass song. Like it isn't
because it's synchronicity. So
the fact that you can't even like name it, like it has
to be a specific song, yeah, I've never heard prior to it. None of my family did either.
Yeah, interesting.
So
What about Jordan? Does Jordan, like your brother, does he believe in it as well? I reckon he would, right? I reckon he's
he's a big guy. He acts tough, but really he's like a scared child.
Scared little shit.
I used to tease him about a lot of things when we were younger. So
interesting.
That's a cool story, man. I remember the first time you told me that, I was like, oh, that was spooky.
Yeah, that's when, So a bunch of other people in your family also had weird things happen to them in that week as well?
All, like, in a couple months after it, like, my mum, my siblings, we all, like, something occurred, and it was just weird.
Yeah.
And, like, again, like, for me, never really believing it, like, it's just like, okay, due to a loss of such a, like, a major figure in your life, like, do you sort of, like, automatically... So, like, attach, like, oh, yeah, that happened, blah, blah. And, like...
Is it related to it?
Yeah, so I feel like, it's like you mind sort of automatically just, like, for an answer for yourself or something. But, like, that figure, that pushed me out.
Yeah. Do you remember when you... Wait, well, to be honest, I've always never been, like, a fool. I've always, like, had, like, a inkling that I thought ghosts would exist.
Yeah, I don't think mine was ever fully...
I don't think I was ever like, ghosts do not exist. I was I don't think I did. They could. Like, I've had some spooky encounters.
I definitely had years where I was like, not fussed, like, didn't care either way.
But I was never like full dismissal of it. There's so many people like...
I kind of agree with that.
Like one of our friends, he's a very smart guy and he's very logical. And whenever like we tell like these stories, he's like, "Oh, well, it could just be this," and we're like,
"Yeah, scientific rush."
Yeah, and like fair enough. And he's a big skeptic. He doesn't believe in any of it. He thinks it's all bullshit. But I don't know, when you have like a story like that in the moment, it's like completely different, you know. Even if there might be like a logical sense after, like that figure could have been like a curtain, like that. But the fact that it was like distinctive enough for you to be like, oh,
a response to it,
and then the fact that all the other stuff happened with their family as well.
Yeah, it's like within a short, like probably like every week something occurred.
That is very interesting. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's a little story for today.
It's my
story of the week. Yeah, and so now I want to get into the most haunted places in Australia. Now, I think have I told the story about Port Arthur?
No. We've brought it up, but without actually...
I'll get you to go on the podcast. It was extended out a little bit long. But I've been to Port Arthur, which is in Tasmania, the little shit of Australia, basically. Beautiful piece of land, but just some of the people down there. It has it going.
It's like 7-Elevens.
Yeah. But I've been to Port Arthur maybe like 5 years ago, maybe a bit more. And I had some interesting experiences there, which is supposedly the second most haunted place in Australia. It used to be
What's the most again?
the house in New South Wales.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Down south-ish.
Yeah.
Or am I completely off? It's in some town, isn't it?
Yeah, let me just...
Like Bega or somewhere like that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, it's out in the bush.
Yeah, Goulburn somewhere.
Yeah, Monte Cristo Homestead.
Where is it?
That just sounds creepy.
It's Victorian.
Oh,
No, it's New South Wales. Junee.
Oh, Junee. So it is down south.
Yeah.
Southish, yeah. We're going to do a road trip there one day.
Yeah.
Bring a Ouija board.
Bring the all those machines, those like ghost hunting.
They do like overnight tours there. Like people can stay the night. And
a lot of haunted places.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't end up actually staying.
They freak out.
Stay the night. They freak out and run off.
Sheesh.
But Port Arthur, the one I went to, used to be a prison and an insane asylum. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And
no, wait, wasn't there the massacre there?
yeah, and there was also a massive massacre there.
Oh, as well as that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And there used to be like, yeah. Wait, what? So when visitors went in 1996, so as like people visiting the haunted Port Arthur,
yeah,
this guy just killed 35 of them.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
he was shooting tourists.
Yeah, basically. And people
Interesting.
that work there.
So that makes it just even extra spooky. It was
Yeah.
spooky to begin with, and now it's
It's extra spooky. So it's accounted that more than 2,000 apparitions have been reported over the last 2 decades, particularly inside the Reverend George Eastman's house, which is where I had my weird experience as well.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think you did tell me, but I kind of can't really remember.
Yeah, the figure at the top of the stairs kind of thing.
I think so.
Yeah, I had that was just one. I had 3 distinct weird things at that place, but I had like 5 distinct things that whole night, which is really weird. Yeah. So that's those 2 are the most haunted places in Australia. There's also one called Armadale Mental Hospital.
Is that in Sydney?
No, Victoria.
Because
Melbourne.
the mental hospital, you know the mental hospital in like, where is it, Birchgrove or something?
Oh yeah.
Balmain?
You remember Lavinia?
Yeah.
She snuck into that. She walked in and did like full Ouija board in there and said she'd been haunted.
Wait, the one in Lilyfield?
Yeah, one of
Those
those
ones?
suburbs.
Opposite of Chevalier? Like that
No,
area?
that's Callan Park. No, it's close to the city area.
The one we went to and listened to the doors and freaked out.
Oh no, that's Callan Park. They used to
Yeah, the mental institution,
But
yeah.
there used to be like a
It's all
penitentiary
asbestos.
or like something close into the city near Birchgrove,
right.
and it's abandoned.
Oh,
Or maybe it was a hospital. And basically, an old friend of ours from school went in there and did a Ouija board. And she said she's been haunted. I remember talking to her like maybe like she did this in like year 8, and then for like the rest of high school, she said she's always felt like someone's always like watching her, and she's been like really scared of like being alone in the dark. And so like I reckon like
so she like summoned
the
spirits
spirit.
Oh.
Do you believe in that stuff, Ouija boards?
Well, some authorities that I listen to who basically dedicate their life to these topics like paranormal and esoteric stuff are adamant that they are real, and so I'm kind of like, I can see the bias. I also can't disprove it. I don't actually know much about Ouija boards anyway, to be honest. Like I've never used one or anything. I think it's just one of those things you have to do for yourself, and then you kind of make your mind up about it.
That's it, like, I feel like objects like that, or like a scary hospital, or like a scary like old prison, or like cancer, and like, even my experience, like I just still believe like that's just bullshit. Like I don't know, like I just feel like cool, like for me personally, like something did happen, but then it's just like I feel like just over time, like someone just created something like. I don't believe the Bible, but like that's shit.
We don't.
And like that's like I just feel like things over time have sort of just been like made up sort of thing. I would totally believe if like someone like our friend Chelsea's at the moment
who we should get on the podcast next.
Like
she's got a good one too.
Her dog is literally just barking to a corner, And that it only happens when it's just them in a house.
And she's getting a Ouija board as well. She wants.
Yeah,
to
of course. They've always done
it's such a trust.
I can picture it so well.
I feel like just like one-off experience, but like when it's like big sort of like things like that, like I just automatically for like Ghostbusters, like it's.
I get where you're coming from. Where like, but I do think maybe like a couple like 100 years ago there was a way to like. Surely if spirits exist, there's a way to like bring them. There's a way to like activate them almost, or like.
Well, you can't.
Another part of me also thinks how many times, because almost everyone has a ghost story, right? Like almost everyone's had something weird or something they can't
some
really
of them
explain.
could recognize it.
So how many? There are 7 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
So that means a good 7 billion experiences that cannot be explained. And it's like that's. Like, something's gotta be like, okay, maybe there's just something, maybe we're not right with the whole spirit, paranormal ghost thing, but there's something that we don't really get that's...
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely something other. Like, there's something else, like, after death and something like that. Like, I don't think we sort of just, like, stay in our body and rot in the ground.
No,
I feel like there is another sort of level that again, like
your consciousness goes somewhere.
Yeah.
Like we can't.
The idea of the soul leaves the body, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like with my culture as well, like there's whole levels to that sort of crap. And I just
get into that a little bit.
What do you know about?
To like a certain like, unfortunately, just because I was raised in the inner west in Sydney.
This is Aboriginal.
Yeah.
So I'm Indigenous as well. So like, fortunately I don't know too much, but there's obviously how everything sort of works is everything's connected to the land. So once your body is finished up, you get back into the land. The land is everything. The land is like water, plants, the air around us, sort of thing. So like, like when you're done, you're everything. So like. With us and my experience with my brother, as well as like, okay, cool, like, he just returned to the earth, and that's what it is, and like, he can walk around, sort of thing.
So it's viewed as people are a part of nature, an extension of nature, rather than how we kind of view people today as being separate from nature, which...
Yeah, Indigenous culture is absolutely like the land, nature, that is number one. We are just borrowing it, we are just like on top of it, that's it. So that's why a lot of ideals in our culture is we don't like fish all the sea creatures out there just for the sake of it. We do what we need, what your little tribe or community needs, and that's it. We have methods. So for bushfires as well, like we burn certain amount so it doesn't like risk, but also it's sort of a ritual where you take it, it'll grow back more and sort of thing. So like it's a circle of life in a way that you're not donating anything. Like at the end of the day, Mother Earth, if you want to say it that way, is the top, and that's all.
And that's one thing, just on a separate note, that a lot of people don't understand about the Australian bush is that it actually kind of needs fires. Like plants like the Banksia need to be burned to reproduce. So
that's why they do backburning.
That's what I'm saying. Like the reason why there's massive bushfires is that because if you want to get political, they actually didn't put money towards backburning this time around. Like, back then, so that's why it was so big when they actually do go to Indigenous elders to learn the skill. Because
that's what they used to do. They used to burn back then. And our fauna, our flora, not our fauna. Fauna is animals.
Flora,
our flora is the best. I'm pretty sure it's the best regenerative organism in the world.
That would make sense.
Like it burns down and it grows.
I would say like due to weather, like the high heats Australia can get to, like
but
fire.
But our fires happen every year, and trees will get burnt down to a crisp, and then in 8 months, 9 months, those trees will be back growing again, and then probably burnt down again.
Yeah,
that's what.
But we have a great they have insanely incredible engendered powers.
Because even though like the pictures were pretty devastating, like earlier this year, people were like, I was hearing people say things like, "Oh, that's going to take 10 years to get back," and it's like
it's slowly.
There were pictures posted around where like you did see green coming from the black.
I know, like it's kind of made. I mean, maybe not to that extreme, but it is kind
the
of
fires are pretty crazy. The real problem is what it does to fauna, which is irreplaceable.
Yeah. So in Indigenous culture, how you talk about everything's kind of connected. All of the, like you said, the land is considered, the earth, the water, the air, and everything. Is there kind of a idea that spirits occupy different parts of that?
I don't know really too much about like a different universe sort of thing for spirits and like souls, but like we do believe that once like someone has passed, it goes back to the earth, but like those individuals do stay with us forever. So like they will constantly looking after us, like looking over us, guiding us in the direction.
Yeah.
So we
ancestors
so ancestors, like a lot of our sort of beliefs, like they're not gods or anything, that like they're just spirits that sort of like specialize in a section. And it's a thing like they're not rules or anything like that, but like they created everything. They like the rainbow snake's probably the most common known, like came out of the earth.
So for the people who don't know, can you give us a Cliff Notes summary of the rainbow snake?
Okay, so
I could even give us a Cliff Notes. That was so long ago.
I feel like I could have, but
the rainbow snake's like
it's very popular Dreamtime story, and most kids.
And also in many cultures around the world, there is a sort of similar figure that does represent a snake.
There's heaps of cultures around the world that represent snakes.
And the idea, like the story behind is basically a snake came out of the earth, it moved around the planet, from its actions, it created the mountains, the crevices, the rivers, everything. It
won't pick it up.
Basically, in like Christianity, religion, God created everything. This one created the rainbow serpent created the land.
And what's the animal in the Garden of Eden that tells Eve to eat the apple?
The snake. What's the snake in North mythology? The world serpent.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. Yeah.
There's in Hinduism. If I'm like saying like wrong shit about Hinduism, I don't want to get that shit wrong, because but there's an idea of, I'm pretty sure the Mother Gange, the Ganges River, the Ganges, there's like life snakes in there, like life serpents in there as well.
Snakes have to represent something then, like they're not just a snake, like.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know too much unfortunately, but like every sort of animal represents something. Like snake has represented a lot of cultures around the world.
Yeah.
Like surprisingly enough.
Well, it's gotta mean something, right?
And for Indigenous culture, there is a sort of another level where it's the spirit. It's different to a real being that gave us life, sort of thing. It's just there. It helped us grow.
Interesting.
It's respect, sort of thing. Like thank you. So we don't sort of destruct. Like it's a give and take situation.
Interesting, because so you know how in the Garden of Eden story, how the snake tells Eve if she eats the apple, she'll get knowledge of good and evil, and then God punishes her for it. And you know how obviously the US is a really religious society, like traditionally, and their symbol is an eagle, and it's kind of like there's a lot of eagle fighting a serpent kind of symbolism around that imagery. So I was listening to this dude once explain that we kind of then think of snake bad, eagle good. But really, the eagle is a symbol of control and surveillance, because it's the animal with the best eyesight, so it can fly up the highest and see the furthest and everything, right? And it's like a control mechanism. Whereas the snake is supposed to be on our side, and it's, it tells Eve, you'll have knowledge of good and evil, and you can become like God if you eat the apple. Like, how's that a bad thing?
Yeah.
And so
it's going against power and control.
And so in the Indigenous story, that the rainbow snake is kind of like a part of us, and it gave us life and everything. it's on our side too, right? Like, it's not an evil force.
In Norse mythology, the world serpent is the one that holds the world together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it seems like snakes and serpents might actually be the good guys.
Well, I feel like we don't really believe that, like, certain animals are good or bad. Like, I feel like, again, we don't really care about, like, who's who. It's everything's sort of equal. So, like, an animal is more scared of you, and definitely, like, the only reason they attack is because either, like, you get too close, or, like, you put, like, you're getting too close to something they were trying to protect.
So unless you meet a grizzly bear, they just fucking hungry.
Well, the thing, like, just
those big bugs, they'll get you. Like, they'll get you. You can't.
You don't have to worry about them.
Yeah. No. What do we got? What animals? Crocodiles. Crocodiles will eat us.
We got 8 out of 10 deadliest snake. Well, we got 8 out of 10 the most poisonous animals in the world.
Yeah. That's
8 of them are snakes. We got more.
Isn't like 5 of them only found in Australia as well?
No, it's like 8 of us.
The one everyone forgets, the sleeper one, and it's in The Office, when Dwight... Have you ever watched The Office?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so when Dwight's talking to David Wallace's son, he's like, oh, let me guess, you probably think a bear is the scariest animal. He's like, try a box jellyfish.
Yeah.
And then Dwight like looks at him, he's like, okay, you're my equal. That's the sleeper one everyone forgets about, of like deadly Australian animals, is the box jellyfish.
And that's that kills you for 7 seconds.
Yeah. Apparently that's the worst pain that you can, like, ever experience. Yeah. Classic Office scene.
It's a great place show.
Dwight definitely believes in spirits. And
I reckon Dwight believes in a lot of things.
what is Dwight? Dwight's like Amish, isn't he? Kind of.
No, he's German. He's just got a really...
He's descended from Amish,
Yeah, it's like a German Amish thing he's got.
If you guys don't watch The Office, we all highly recommend it.
Best feature.
Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
So, trying to get back to, that was a good little deviation. Trying to get back to most haunted place in Australia, we all have Fremantle Prison.
Fremantle Prison, so I assume it's a prison in Fremantle.
Yeah.
That might be a bit far to road trip, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't really say much. It just says resident ghosts Martha and Jack. They read books.
What's the 2 people died there or something?
Yeah,
they want it.
Oh no, they're the most famous ones. They just roam around the cells.
Okay.
That's it.
Interesting.
The biggest one is Monte Cristo Homestead, which has like a bloody crazy stuff. So just like a list, just a small list of weird stuff that's happened there. A stable boy burned to death. A baby girl thrown down the stairs. A maid lobbed off a balcony. Lobbed off?
Someone just chucked her off.
Chucked off a balcony. And a caretaker shot dead. So those are like the big weird deaths.
Mm.
And so it used to be owned by the Crawleys, William Crawley.
Oh, the Crawleys.
Whoa! Alistair Crowley. So just still. And they used to, like, back in like 1880, I think.
Yeah.
And then he owned the place, and then heaps of people just started dying there. And with no particular, there wasn't any like murderers or anything like that. It was just random deaths.
Interesting.
And then I think there's a famous one about a cat, and like a cat.
Oh, cats. That's another. So we talked about cats a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they used to have a cat, and the cat died, or it got mutilated outside of the house.
Oh.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of like stories about like there's one about like I'm pretty sure the main guy, William Crawley, like has really heavy boots and he stomps around the house at night.
Mm-hmm.
There's one with a girl in a white dress. What is that about?
Oh,
what is it about girls in white dresses?
There's a road in Australia somewhere.
Oh yeah, I had that a second ago.
As well as
North
Macquarie
Shore.
Fields train station. Apparently, there's a girl in a white dress that you see like around and about. I can't remember the road, but they also say Macquarie Fields station.
Yeah, it's in the story about the road is in North Sydney, Northern Beaches.
Yeah.
the idea is that if you're driving at a certain time of night and you're by yourself in the car,
that's okay. Let's get you alone, and if you might think like the idea is in your head. So like, what makes you crazy sort of things, like when you're a kid, it's just like when you think something's in like the darkness, whatever, like it's gonna get you. It's like when that idea pops in your head, like it just manifests. Like that's what I'm like. Now that like I just feel like it's
the rules are a bit weird with ghosts.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like.
So with this one, they're driving on the road, and you see like a girl in a white dress, and she walks into the road, and you're like, oh crap, and you have to like swerve out of the way and stuff, and like you think you hit it. And there's also one, if you're alone in the car, she appears in the car with you, and there's like a story like she trying to convinces you to drive off the road and shit. I don't know. Yeah.
Is the girl in the white dress, you know how we were talking about a little while ago, a classic example of something that seems nice and safe, and therefore it's creepy when it's like you know how like a kid laughing or something, or a clown, like it's supposed to be kind of safe things that wouldn't scare you, but then that kind of makes them extra scary for some weird reason. Yeah, I think it might be a bit like that.
Maybe, I don't know, it happens all the time.
There's a lot of girl in white dress stories.
Macquarie Fields train station is one of the big ones. If you go there at midnight, you hear a girl screaming.
I've heard that.
And she
so
apparently...
one of the neighbours would continue that sort of
I was going to say,
it's
Macquarie Fields.
Just in the backyard yelling.
Yeah, but the idea is there's like an Asian girl in a white dress at that station.
Was she like hit by a train or something?
Yeah, like she committed suicide after her boyfriend dumping her or something. I think that's the story behind it. And if you see her at the train station, you die as well. But like, how can you say you've seen her at the train station survive in the story as you see her die?
That's a sort of you got to call bullshit on a story like that, I think.
yeah. But you said you went to that train station, didn't you?
The like sort of popular one in Sydney.
Yeah, that's Macquarie Fields. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's all lies.
Yeah.
What one like was it 12 or 13? We went for like a council activity, and I was just like there with a bunch of mates, and like everyone's just jumping and screaming. It was just like evident. Like there's one like super obvious scene where like they take you into surgery, like an old surgery room, and like they have like a fake body on it. And basically, it's like if you watch them, you can literally see the guy's like leg move. And so basically, he's creating this atmosphere, it's all scary and stuff, and like a big bang. Yeah. So when you're 12, 13-year-olds, they all scream. And I'm just like...
It's played.
He literally just kicked the freaking bucket.
That's what I hate about ghost tours, because I think a lot of them do shit like that to make you think they're haunted. It
is, like, I feel like the whole idea of, like, yeah, obviously people have died, but I feel like people over time, okay, let's try to get some money.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like, it's just like, okay, let's have it extended, let's make more rules, and like...
And because the people who are serious about this sort of stuff and go to places like Skinwalker Ranch, they will wait there for 3 nights a week if they have to, just waiting. But like your average Joe that's like, oh, let's do a haunted tour, like they want something to happen in 45 minutes or less, you know, like...
Yeah. Another haunted place is North Head Quarantine Station, which have ghost tours as well. And because that's pretty close to us, me and Don were planning on actually be doing that and filming that and giving that a go and letting you guys have a look at that. I don't really know the story behind that though.
No.
I think it's just an abandoned quarantine station.
Might be unabandoned soon because of all this. Quarantine station.
Yeah, exactly. What others are there? Let's talk about Cullen Park.
Yeah.
So this place is in Sydney, pretty close to where we live in the west. And me and Dom have been there on a myriad of occasions.
Yeah.
And it's freaky, man. It's freaky to say the least.
We went there on Halloween too.
Yeah, to be honest, we did. There was one time we went there and we were spooked beyond belief, and that was by our own doing.
It was kind of accidental though. Like
we put on a bunch of like scary songs. Like if you guys don't know, like the main theme from Rosemary's Baby and like some weird Doors music. Like we spooked ourselves. Like, oh my god, this is where the killers are like show up and like look at the car doors and like drive it around super slow like. But that place used to be a mental institute.
Yeah,
if I'm correct. And then it got abandoned.
The aesthetic is so like
asbestos is still there.
Yeah, it's like they had that. Everything's boarded up.
And it's got all these like keep out signs and stuff, which make like
some of them have fences.
It's like a large like sort of open area as well, like surrounded by a big tree. So like you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, like even though you're basically in the middle of the city.
Because it's not one big building. It's lots of little small buildings, which is
they're quite spaced out.
Confusing why they built it that way, but it also doesn't make you. It makes you feel like, I don't know, like you're in a little village of some, or you just found some creepy old abandoned town. Yeah. It's like a ghost town.
It's pretty big. It's like, I reckon Callan Park's like almost.
It's massive.
It's bigger than some suburbs.
It takes a minute to drive around.
Yeah. And so the story behind it is that it was a mental institute, and then people used it as like a hospital and like an emergency center, and then most of it got shut down because of asbestos. Or it all got boarded up, and when things get boarded up, things become again. People like break windows and stuff, and like people put up fences and stuff like that. So it looks more than just asbestos. It looks like like something bad happened there. Yeah. And then some of the buildings got renovated and changed into, I think Sydney Uni owns part of it now.
Sydney Art Uni and the National like Medical Centre there.
Yeah. So, but a lot of the majority of it is still abandoned, and you can so when and people walk in there in the middle of the night as well, and like it's a big park with a soccer field down one side. But when you're there at night and there's no one around, it can get your blood curdling. It's spooky.
If you're listening at home and you don't know the song, listen to The End by The Doors, and End of the Night by The Doors as well.
Yeah, and Whiskey Bar.
There's just so many Doors songs, like Riders on the Storm. It literally talks about a killer on the road and a driving around.
Yeah, if you want to get spooked, listen to Doors by yourself.
Yeah,
with all the lights off, and focus on the lyrics.
Listen to the words, because the songs themselves are like, they have their moments, but like when you listen to the actual lyrics, you're just like freaked out.
So when me and Dom were driving around there, and we're driving slow, we're driving like 5 k's an hour, if that. We're taking our time with it.
Can you drive in there?
Yeah. You can drive everywhere in there, and so you're driving around, and then there's like, I remember 2 certain points. There was one where there was a big red door, and we drove up to it, and we pulled into it, and then we had to reverse out of it. Do you remember that?
Kinda, yeah.
And we're like, this is where the bloody serial killer comes out, and then we look behind us, and this is where the serial killer's behind us.
We had a bad habit, because it's like in a park, right, and there are like random like little street lights.
Yeah.
And it's something really unnerving about like where it's mostly dark, and then there's just a little light, little bit, and we're just like, and there might be like a bench under it or something, and we had like a bad habit of being like, imagine you just saw like the killer sitting on the bench under
You do that so much, man. You've always done that.
And the way it works is a lot of dead ends. So you have you drive into an area which you think might go to someone else, and it doesn't. And you have to reverse out, and like you have to stop it and reverse and pull out.
Like, what if you like check the rearview mirror and the dude's like?
And then when we were leaving once, the park, and there's this main stretch of road when you're leaving the place, and when you're going up it, we're after it, we freaked ourselves up, and we were listening to This Is the End just came on, and we're going up this road, and then there's this one old rusty ass shack with like the old fashioned wooden doors with a chain around it, and we're driving up, and this is the end, and the doors ran on. I'm like, we hit the gas, and we just like send it up.
And then the guitar like starts to distort. And it's like, it felt like your brain is just like had like psychedelic juice just poured on it.
I don't necessarily know if Callan Park is haunted, but we have definitely made.
It's a creepy like area.
Yeah, I would not want to walk around there by myself after dark.
Well, when even during the day, like, cause it's so open and like it's pretty fucking quiet.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's good because it's really big. You can stand in the middle of it and not be able to see anyone.
Like you didn't walk, like disappear into bush.
And there's big buildings as well. You can look into it and like half expecting like a figure to show his head in a window or something.
Yes, I was just about to say someone in a window or something.
Yeah, that would be lock the doors and just smack on the gas. So there was one time we were driving around and we were like, imagine if we saw like a person around here, and then all of a sudden there was a group of like
I remember what you were saying.
Group of like 10 little kids drinking, and then we're like, oh, that just ruined the night for us. we were kind of pissed off about it. Then we tried to spook them and get like driving back around and see if they were there.
Because there's this one, like, it looks like a house and it's like made of stone and stuff and all this like cobblestones or sandstone or something. But just the way it's built, it kind of looks like it would be like, you know, in like Harry Potter or like England, how they have that little house in like the graveyard or something near the church or something, and it's where like the minister lives, and it's some creepy old shack. It looked exactly like that, and I was kind of thinking like, this is the sort of place you expect like some old man with a lantern to like walk out and like stare at you or something.
I'm like honestly surprised like no one, like no company or like a council or something does like a Halloween sort of thing in that area.
Well, I think because of the asbestos.
True. But like how many, like it's, since we've been young, that's what, like 20-something years, they still haven't removed that.
Well, that's the other thing. Why don't they get rid of the asbestos?
Yeah.
It's not like it's difficult in 2020 to
it
get
was,
rid of
exactly.
asbestos.
It was bad, holy crap.
Yeah, because, how long has it been a thing for? Like, since at least like the 90s, right?
Yeah, like they were found out that it was dangerous.
And you just can't do anything if something's got asbestos in it. So it's like, and not every building has an asbestos warning thing on it. So it's like, why can't you just get rid of it?
I think it's more of the, probably depending on like how sort of damage it is, because like when you break it, because it spreads through the air, so I feel like there is a lot of requirement on like actually the removal of asbestos.
Yeah.
But probably the council doesn't get like
just costs a lot of money. It's in Callan Park, like there's nothing else there, there's no houses around.
Yeah.
The worst comes to worst, someone walks by and gets asbestos poisoning, but like people know asbestos is there.
But you have to go like right in, right, to get
and all the doors it's all boarded up. A lot of the ones have like fences around them, but like you can definitely get in, like you can definitely sneak in.
No, I mean to get like actual asbestos poisoning.
Oh, you have to live in an asbestos building for a certain amount of time. Yeah. Like it has, like it takes effect. Like it's not just like you can go in and have a little
get up, and
then get asbestos. So you have to like the idea of asbestos is buildings used to get built and people used to live in there for like 10, 20 years and then get really sick and no one knew what it was about and then realised, oh, it's the buildings.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, kind of a part of me also hopes they don't ever like fix it up, because it's like, what if knowing?
Do you know what's going to happen when they fix it up? Sky rises, apartments, and it's just like,
because it's Sydney, they're just going to put some fuck off ugly
apartments. Water as well.
So that's the thing. Like developers must just be like.
I'm pretty sure it's a heritage spot though.
Probably. I hope so, because I don't want that changing. I don't want some giant.
It's not privately owned.
Disgusting apartment like ruining that spot. Because they're going to look the same as all the other apartment blocks that are coming up, and it's just like, you know, we have this cool like little area, this quirky like.
It's a heritage listed site.
Okay, so they can't develop on it.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, Callan Park Hospital for the insane.
Oh, so not just a mental hospital. For the insane.
For the insane. I wonder if there's any hauntings about it.
Yeah, go look into Callan.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Because if it does...
It's Halloween, we're going to do something then.
That'd be a great place to have Halloween, eh?
We went
there for Halloween.
So what we did, we went to Royal National Park. No, Lane Cove National Park. And walked through there at night. Mm-hmm. And that was low-key terrifying.
So if you guys have ever seen the Blair Witch, where they get lost in the forest, man, let's do it. Let's tell the story about that night. So... Lane Cove National Park is basically a reserve in the middle of suburbs.
It's a national park.
Yeah.
Their highways kind of on either side.
So when we're walking in, there's like a village where people can pay to stay in there.
A small little area that's got like your cafe and stuff and car park and things.
Yeah.
But then it's just
there's this road that goes like loops around it, and it's a good couple K's.
Yeah.
And we did about half of that, and we walked down the main road and we were having a good time, like, oh, it's not really that scary, and then...
Yeah, because it was on Halloween, we were like the only ones there, it was dark, but
it was more skits getting into the place, to be honest, because we were doing it illegally, but like, I don't think it was illegal, I'm pretty sure they would have
The gate was open, we walked right in.
The idea is that you have to pay to go in, but we went like after hours, so like, it wasn't locked up. We didn't break and enter.
Yeah.
But we're walking around this national park, and we're going down this long road, and it's down like a hill and next to the water, and like, oh, this is pretty like normal. And then the first time we got freaked out was when we saw a house.
Yeah.
Up on the like in the middle of the bush. Like this is a good couple, like good at least 1k in, and it's away from all the village, and it's just up on this little hill, and there's a little road to it, and like that is spooky. That is like serial killer level. Like this is where people go to die in that little house.
It was a creepy house.
It probably just was like a ranger's house. Like when you're walking in the middle of the night, it had definitely had like horror movie vibes.
Small house on the hill kind of thing. You're like, oh, okay. And then we kind of what did we do? We walked up into the more like bush part of it, like off the kind of road.
And we kept going, and then
did not realise how long that trail was.
Yeah, we thought it was a bit. We thought we'd be done by that point, to be honest. And we kept walking, and then we heard like someone pissing. And we're like, is that someone pissing like over on the side? And we're like, surely not. That's probably like just a stream of water. But it distinctively sounded like a man pissing against a tree or like in water. And we're like, no, surely that's an animal pissing or something. Surely. And then we're like, maybe not. I don't know if we said anything. Did we call out and we hear something?
We just had that agreement in our heads that we both heard it and just like, we just don't
backwards,
we just don't need to say it out loud.
And it wasn't a constant stream of water, so it wasn't like trickle of a stream. Right, like, it wasn't that.
It was like, when they heard you, they sort of stopped.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. And then we hit the jet and to the bush, and that's when the trail stopped and became this 1 footpath inch fucking trail, and we're like, oh no, we can't go through here. We can't go back. What do we do? And we did like spook ourselves up, and then we're like, all right, just do it. I don't want to go back to that like guy pissing.
Now we thought this might be like maybe a kilometre long at most. It was,
so we thought this would loop back onto the trail, and then we'd like loop back around to where we were. But we kept walking, and like, oh, maybe it would end soon. It'll be fine. And so we're walking through. And if you guys have ever seen the Blair Witch when they're walking in the forest and they start seeing like little
they start seeing the same thing again and stuff,
Well, that's what we thought we were seeing.
And no, but the thing was, we said afterwards, we both like were like, were you thinking about Blair Witch? And the other one was like, yeah. We're like, I just didn't want to say it in case you weren't thinking.
And we kept looking behind us, see if anything was there, and then eventually had to like get our maps out because we weren't necessarily lost, but like we had no idea where we were going.
We were just walking. It's like we could be walking any direction. Like,
so we got maps out, and we realized, there was a turn off, like that goes back around. We'll just go to there, and it said like 200 meters away. And I'm like, all right, sweet. And then we walked for like an extra kilometer, and we're like, where is this?
A kilometer when you've got like trees and shit hanging, and like you're on a narrow path. It takes a lot longer to walk a kilometer.
It wasn't 200 meters, and we're like, did we miss a turn off? Where are we? Like we were legit like.
And your phone was getting a low battery. Like your phone was less than 20%.
And so we eventually find the turn off. And like, oh, this must be it. So we walk in, and we walk back, and we're walking for ages as well. And I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? Where are we? And there was multiple turns off, but the map wasn't showing. So we're like, where are we? And then eventually you nearly ran to like the spider web, right?
This was crazy. So I'm walking,
and we got a torch. It's pitch black. The only thing you can see is a torch.
We're using the torch to like shine on the ground so we don't like trip over something.
Yeah.
And I just stop, and then you like stop right behind me, like what? Like, and then I'm like, oh no, I stopped, and then I look up, and there's just this massive spider web right in front of me with a spider. I'm like, I didn't even see that. I just stopped. Like,
And I think there was one where I was working, and I was like, alright, you go in front, my phone's going to die, use your phone. And then we swapped, and then as soon as Dom showed the touch, there was a big spider next to his head, and I'm like, why did we stop? And then eventually we made it out, and we were fine, but like, that was
an experience. And then we went to Callan Park.
Like, looking back on it, in the logical sense, no, there was probably nothing there. Yeah. But like, during the moment when all this weird stuff is happening, your mind's going crazy. Like, oh my god, this is it. This is how we die. So that was a good time.
Yeah, it was. And then Callan Park just was the icing on the cake.
If you're ever in Australia, the best way to get spooked is just go into the bush. I reckon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like so nice during the day, and then it's at night you're just like, It's probably just because like not used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Also,
just the noises and stuff
Yeah.
like that. What is that? Is that?
Like the slightest move, like legs are so dry,
Yeah.
it makes a sound. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sydney actually has quite a few scary places, unexpectedly scary.
Yeah.
They have cemeteries on the water, which is spooky, but like, we didn't actually get spooked out there, surprisingly.
Yeah.
There's something about there was like no energy there, it was just dead.
You
so
know
it
that
wasn't
giant
spooky.
one in the eastern suburbs?
The Bondo one.
Yeah,
you can walk
around
down.
there.
Yeah, there's a
Remember
couple
at
up
night?
there.
Wasn't that scary?
Yeah, but there's a couple up there. There's a couple different
Yeah.
ones.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. The idea was just like,
I just don't know, I feel like cemeteries aren't that, like...
yeah, but cemeteries right in the middle of the night. We're like, this should be
Maybe because
scary.
it was in Bondi. It's just like Bondi isn't a scary place.
Yeah.
If you're in like America or something, Bondi is like
It was-
Santa Monica kind of.
but
It's
we
just
were-
like not a scary
We're
place.
walking through the cemetery and then we get down to the beach and looking out on the ocean was more scary because you couldn't see the waves but you could hear the waves, so we're like, the ocean's scary. Then we started talking about the ocean, like how terrifying is the ocean and stuff. That was more scary than the cemetery, which we just walked through in the middle of the night by ourselves.
Look at that.
But I reckon why it wasn't spooky is because either we were like trying to get a spook and we couldn't get it,
Yeah.
and it normally has to happen like authentically.
Yeah.
That's when we really get spooked. Or the fact that what we were saying is that, well, what's scary? That idea is like you're supposed to have a ghost haunting you. The cemeteries won't have ghosts.
No,
They're
like that
just-
area
it's
as
all
well,
dead,
like,
right?
it's beach, it's open, like... I feel like the traditional, like, scary cemetery is, like, dark, sort of, like, there isn't a proper path, like,
Bit
it's
more
usually
rural.
just...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the freaking trees all around that stuff, like... Yeah, Bondi's a...
Bondi's not a
nice, clear... Like, there's houses right opposite the cemetery.
Yeah, that's true. But it's amazing how big that thing is. It is giant. That is giant.
And there's a couple along that coastline,
Mm.
along the eastern beach.
But the other one we went to just was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was actually spookier than both of those is when we went to Vaucluse,
Yeah.
which is like the richest place in Sydney, I reckon. One that definitely,
It is,
yeah. And we're driving around looking at all these like crazy famous buildings, like, oh my god, this is insane. And then there was 2 roads we went down which were dead ends, and they were weirdly spooky. The one, there was a car under a light, and like that's.
What
an
about
old
the
car
lighthouse
thing.
though? Remember the lighthouse?
Oh yeah, the lighthouse was spooky.
Yeah.
That's also on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange. Like some things you go into expecting to be like freaked out. Like if we were at like a graveyard like 1 a.m. and just weren't scared, and then other times we just go to like
the richest suburb in Sydney, and there's massive houses which aren't scary, they're just like cool to look at, and then
but you just like look at like their local park and it just looks so
it's pitch black and it's like
what? Like anything could be in there.
yeah.
No, it's sort of a good example of like the whole sort of where people's like what's it like the not secrets they share the stories and it gets exaggerated sort of things. Like in Annandale, there's 5 massive houses in the middle of it.
Oh yeah, those.
And
we've been there.
when we were in primary school, like young, we were told like witches used to live in there.
Witches?
Yeah, 4
These
witches.
houses look haunted.
And then the 5th one was the father. But then like
The one on the last one I think you're referring to has its own Wikipedia page.
yeah, the Abbey, yeah.
Yeah, the Abbey, there you go.
And I was like, it actually was just a doctor, the father, in that one, and the rest was for his daughters. Like,
Yeah.
that, again, like, at a young age, thinking, oh, like, because, like, those houses were the, like, story behind our sports teams at primary school. So, yeah, I remember we had to do whole excursions around it. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the whole, like, oh, yeah.
We went down to that big one on the corner.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is it. And when those, well, to be honest, all 5 of those buildings next to each other were all like pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like massive
They're fucking
mansions,
massive.
like abbeys, yeah.
But the thing with just saying how like certain things you expect to be creepy aren't and certain things you don't expect to be creepy are, if we just suspend our rationality for a second, do you think that lends to the idea of spirits and like bad ones kind of occupying certain areas and that's why you feel a sense of like real uncomfort versus good ones that occupy
I reckon it's,
I feel that's how you got brought up about it.
I reckon spirits in essence are like portrayed as bad because they're abnormal. So every time you see a ghost, it's like scary, right? And scary is supposed to be the sense of it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is, but not necessarily. I don't think spirits are
well
necessarily
maybe
bad.
because the graveyard is like all people who have died in like the last 200 years. they're all just like nice people that are like
they're
happy to have a visitor for once.
Yeah.
But that's with like the whole sort of horror genre, like graveyards. Like there's like, oh, you think zombies gonna come out of the ground?
Yeah,
Sort of thing.
true.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, ghosts. Like before cats were the ghosts. Like they're all terrifying.
Actually,
sort of thing. Like the podcast, like it's a whole thing. Like
yeah.
how you got raised and like the stories back then, like back in the
They're always
70s,
scary,
like,
bad stories, right?
like classic horror movies were made. Like if you go to a like fucking lake in the like sort of rural area, like Jason sort
Friday
of thing.
the
Like these things are going in mind. Like you've seen it and you've attached to it, or like
maybe it's
a bad thing as a childhood sort of thing.
Maybe it's a society's stereotyping it when it's not actually like cats, for example.
Yeah, because we're only basing I get what you're saying. We're only basing it off like kind of media and stuff.
Yeah, and that's all viewing these paranormal things as evil and bad. Yeah. So, yeah, interesting.
It might not be based in
Yeah. One actually, I do remember one scary thing in the cemetery was there was a couple of graves which were just basically broken open. Like
that was the Bondi one, like for a good part of like a year or so, the coastal was actually getting upgraded, so people had to walk through it. And like I don't know, when I went there, like, people legit like taking photos of. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's a great like we're in a cemetery right now. Like it's not a photo opportunity, so to speak.
We didn't see any bones, did we? But we just saw like.
I don't think we saw anything.
We saw like
it was too dark.
We saw like slabs of concrete like smashed open, and like you can see the dirt and stuff, and we're like, oh my god, and we see like some dead person.
See, like that's the idea. It's just like automatically, it's a broken, so something's coming out like really.
Although if they died in like 1850, there probably isn't really anything left.
Yeah,
it hasn't rotted.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although they do say as well about graveyards is like half the time the gravestones are just scattered randomly, and it's like there could really be bodies anywhere. Like especially like ones.
Some of them don't even have bodies. It's just a headstone.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot do align, but they say for like a lot of graveyards they like lost track, or because they were just added over time, and they're like, oh, maybe we should put some graves.
Yeah, I was gonna say by this point, how long society has existed? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like now they sort of get away from the cemetery because it's taken up.
A lot of people get burned now.
So much property land.
Sheesh.
I'd be pissed off if like there was a life after death, but your body had to hang around for a bit, and you just got burned, and then you just like lit it off. Like
I'm going to make sure we get the procedure right, because someone's right about what you do, whether you get buried.
That's like again for different cultures, sort of thing. Yeah, like
Vikings buried
certain religions look like you have to go out a certain way
and then
to
make
do
the body stay around for 3 days or something before they bury it.
Yeah,
that's what the Jews might do. I'm not sure, but yeah. And some are like very empty.
You know something weird? Well, this I reckon because this is something I just discovered. So we can move on to our little discovery part of the podcast. I'm pretty sure in Indonesia once a year they have that like their Day of the Dead, and they take their relatives' bodies out of their graves and hang out with them.
I think I've heard about that.
Yeah, that is. And there's photos all on Facebook of people hanging out with their dead relatives. I'm like, that is freaky. And they're like all rotted up and stuff, and they dress them up really nicely and hang out with them.
Because I was listening to this dude who's who calls himself a magician, and I laughed as well until I heard some of the shit he had to say. Not in like the Harry Potter sense, like the ritual magic kind of things, and he's big on ancestors.
Oh, okay. I was like,
he doesn't like have a wand and
card tricks or something.
No, he's real serious.
Okay,
he's also super freaking smart. Like IQ would be through the roof as well, which is another thing that makes me think like he's not dumb at all. Like if you ask, he does a lot of talk about like politics and economics and things, and the guy is really switched on. But he says one big thing in so many cultures is ancestor worship, because basically he says your ancestors still remain spirits, whatever, and generally they want the best for you, makes sense, and so people try to get in contact with their ancestors so they have that, they're kind of in touch with them, and because they're kind of out of this world, they can kind of see everything a bit more, they can kind of point you in the right direction and give you that kind of guidance. And he was saying how a lot of people, when they're interested in this kind of magic, rituals, stuff like that, they're kind of like, like whatever, just teach me how to make like tons of money like up here, But it's like things like that which actually, he says, cause more benefit in your life than kind of like what he would call wealth magic or something like that.
Okay.
Which is very interesting. So I feel like maybe that Day of the Dead thing is like reminding everyone, like, get back in contact with your ancestors. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So I'm just showing a couple of photos of it. If you don't know what it is, just look up Indonesia, Day of the Dead, and you'll see photos of people taking their
how is that
dead relatives out of their graves and having like dressing them up and having a day with them. There's one photo of a guy like lighting a dead guy's cigarette and putting it in his mouth.
That's
that just got worse. I just saw a little baby.
Oh no!
Don't look that up. Just take my word for it. That is. But I guess why their sense of it is getting back in touch with their ancestors, and with their relatives and stuff, and having a day with them. And I guess I can understand. I think myself, if like say for example I got my grandma out of the grave, I reckon that mugged me off massively. I reckon
because you're not used to it. But if you were brought up from day one thinking that was
of course, it'd be a day you look forward to.
And it's kind of interesting as well how like humans' intuition makes them kind of like a lot of people will visit like a loved one's grave and like talk to it.
Yeah.
And it's like we look at it as, well, they obviously can't hear you, like they're dead, but it's like, but then why does a part of us naturally feel like that's a somewhat normal thing to do?
Yeah.
I feel like, so I did that, so my brother committed suicide in his bedroom, and so like a week later we went back to his apartment to clean it up, and then so I cleaned out his bedroom, and like at the same time, like it was just I think it was just like the idea of being like, you lost someone, like you're never going to see them, so like that sort of will to like not let go of them, that's what might sort of push them. I feel like human beings, like we really don't know the total understanding of a lot of things in this world. So I feel like we're totally like open in certain like events in life.
It's potentially our way of coping as well.
I totally feel like, again, like the whole Day of the Dead, like that's a lot of cultural direction there. And
I love like Day of the Dead.
Yeah, and I was saying like Disney Coco is all about it. I think like that is a thing. Like again, depending on societies, Western, it's like sort of they're dead. That's done. A lot of like Indonesia or Mexico does it, so it's like every year it gets brought up, they get remembered, sort of thing. It's not really, they're not forgotten at all.
Does Christianity have one? Or like Western society?
I don't think so.
I think there is an aspect in church of like some rituals for ancestors and stuff. Maybe in Catholicism.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure though. I don't know if Abrahamic religions do.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't sound like something that definitely doesn't happen either. I'm not really sure. What about Islam? What Islam's Abrahamic? Like, do they? I have no idea.
That's
but they have daily prayers. So maybe it's associated with that. I don't really know.
I don't know if it's ancestors.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Hinduism has one.
Well, a lot of Asian houses as well have shrines to their ancestors. Like, you know Mulan, the movie, you watched that? When she's literally sent up to their own little temple for their ancestors, and like that's common.
Well, that's what I think. Like, if you watch a lot of documentaries about Asian culture, they're under sort of standing of family sort of thing. It's where a lot of sort of like parents, when they turn old, they actually go live with their children. When it's sort of a Western society was like old people usually get pushed into a home sort of thing. And it's like with mine, it's more like we highly respect elders, like the overall knowledge of everything sort of thing. So like, again, like how sort of society's been brought up, that's how we get directed around death, the afterlife, everything. So
well, paganism has a big thing about death, but their ancestors more like glory to their ancestors rather than having a day for them.
Yeah, that's definitely true about the Indigenous culture and like elders, because like Welcome to Countries always mention elders and things like that.
Passing, present, like even if so.
Passing.
I was automatically had to say all that all the time, assemblies. And basically it's just like,
Mate, they made this kid do every single opening for assembly.
I was the Indigenous spokesperson for my high school.
Wait, can you explain one thing to me? So you know how, I don't know if like certain Indigenous cultures can't look at a photo of a dead person or something like that? Like, you know how sometimes you're watching TV and they'll say...
No, so it's more of, because it's sort of like the high fatality of Indigenous people, where our numbers are much like... we die at 60 and 70, while European dies at 90, whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, usually when they do go to Northern Territory, where a lot more tradition and culture has been held, a lot more elders do live in impoverished lifestyle because they've chosen to stay on their land and culture.
Yeah.
So basically, when it takes about a year or like a long duration to film something, edit that stuff. So the time from like interviewing to actually like presenting to the public, there is a much higher risk of an individual leaving passing.
Okay.
But also like there is to that extent where it's just a warning, just so like it's not what's happening, like be surprised or disrespectful thing. Then it's also where but some shows and channels do acknowledge that they just acknowledge the general Indigenous respect to the land and the traditional owners sort of thing. Yeah. So it's two different segments.
Interesting. You gotta brush up on this stuff.
Honestly, like, again, me growing up in Sydney, not really connected community, like, I know very little to the massive what it is. So, yeah, like, I purposely do art to try to learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
I was forced to do a lot of Indigenous activities in school. They weren't really great, but yeah.
Yeah, from the outside looking at that stuff, it does seem quite forced.
Except our apology, he is special needs.
Yeah, basically. So, like, the whole purpose behind it was, to give Indigenous people a helping hand, which, is needed and is great, but I feel like the lack of actual planning behind it and the reason to it, it's just like, sweet, let's put a couple $1,000 here, get those kids out of the day. So, literally every Wednesday in year 8, probably in year 7 as well, I got the whole day off to go to Sydney Uni. And basically to play games and to school around.
Yeah.
So I know Sydney Uni in the back of my hand purely because of that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really out of the 6 years of high school doing those programs, the only ones that actually benefited from debating, but that wasn't really connected to culture.
Yeah.
That which is probably public speaking, that's a lot of kids.
Mm.
And then personally doing art, I got the opportunity to go into the art gallery and go behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So that just fascinated me personally. So it was it's a really hard sort of here's one program that's going to fit everyone when a lot of families, so many different cases. So it's it really does have to be sort of personalized and subjective, but just due to lack of people giving a fuck. And again, it is a lot of non-Indigenous people really trying to think sort of thing. It's how do they really know? It's you can't truly understand. I grew up very, let's say, white. I grew up in a very white neighborhood. Yeah. All my friends are white.
Only Aboriginal.
Yeah, so my primary school, I was the only Indigenous kid out of 350 students.
Because there were quite a lot where we went. Much more than 350.
Yeah, so the first time I properly hanged out besides family friends was high school.
Yeah.
And I was holy crap, I'm not the odd one out here sort of thing. But that's another story. There's benefits and negatives to that. But it's different. It does come down to the individual's want and desire of life. I'm very lucky I had a mum that pushed me to what do you want? Go get it. And I was I'm a hard worker. I get pretty much what I want, sort of thing. And it's a lot of individuals that families, due to some generation assimilation programs and stuff, it's very hard to come out of that. I'm the youngest out of 5 siblings. I'm very different.
Yeah.
My siblings grew up in this suburb. I had a house a couple of streets away. And so, like, they were connected to the community and, like, friends they could relate to. I wasn't. So I saw a very different lifestyle to them. So, like, yeah, like, she does not say, like, I am very different to my siblings alone due to that. But yeah, that's a whole different subject.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, no harm done by chucking it in there. Anything else you want to say?
I don't know if I have to say that. I reckon that's a good way to end it.
Yeah. Alright, well, thanks for coming on, Jesse.
Oh, good, thanks for
having
me.
Your stories and give me some insight into your life.
Yeah, and culture too. Yeah.
And culture, yeah.
Alright, see you in the next one.